Hello everyone, welcome back to Trainophile. If you haven't subscribed yet, then please subscribe to our channel, Trainophile. You know what? Recently, I came across this book. I had this book with me, it's been 3 years, but I was never able to finish the book in one go. And this time, I decided to get the book and keep it down until I finish the last page. So this is the book, 16 Communication Secrets. And in reference to this book, we have our today's video, that is Secrets of Communication. We recently uploaded a video called as How to Be a Better Communicator. If you haven't watched that video, then please watch it. I'll link it somewhere. So let's focus on our today's video, that is Secrets of Communication. Do you know the meaning of communication? Communication is presence. Communication is presence means the way you represent yourself in front of your audience, in front of your people. It could be verbally or it could be non-verbally. So a verbal communication and a non-verbal communication. Now the reference that I'm going to give you is purely out of this book. Whatever I read from this book, I have accumulated all my notes after reading this book, and I'm going to share with you the secrets of communication. So stay tuned till the end of this video. Communication is not about how and what we speak. It's often that people want to speak more than listening. Communication is basically how you are heard by the other person. That means, how do they perceive your message after you have said something or after you have communicated? So it's never about you, it's about the other person's perception. Before we head on to the secrets of communication, let's understand what are the major barriers of communication. What makes your communication fail? What are the reasons that stand as an obstacle in your communication? So let's understand the barriers of communication, or let's make a list of barriers of communication. Number one is distraction. You get distracted by music, you get distracted by loud voice, you might get distracted by your phone, you might get distracted by the pop-up messages, and so on. The second barrier is poor listening. Yes, we have also made a video on listening skills. Do check out on our channel. Poor listening skills. People often want to speak and they do not want to listen. So poor listening skills is another barrier of communication. Too much jargons. People often feel when they start using or when they learn new jargons, they often want to use the jargons in their communication. But if you are talking to people, those who are not from the same field or those who are not belonging to your field, then these jargons doesn't make any sense. Rather, they would be an obstacle or hindrance in your communication. And fourth one is overwhelming response. Many people, they don't know where to stop. Many people, they are overexpressive. Many people, they just want to speak out everything that they have. So these could be your overwhelming thoughts which you're not able to segregate, which you're not able to calm down and present your communication in a well manner. Let me know if you know what are the other barriers of communication. I'm sure there are hundreds of barriers of communication. So please put it in the comment box. Now let's head on to the secrets of communication. Before I share the first secret of communication, let me give you an example that I read in this book and it caught my attention. So in this book, the author is traveling on a flight. The author was standing in a line. During his travel, what happened? There was a lady who was arguing with the flight agent for a better seat. The lady kept on arguing for 5 to 10 minutes and the flight agent was polite to her and kept on repeating the same sentence, that is, she won't be able to give her a better seat. But the lady did not listen and she kept on arguing with anger, with frustration, loud voice, telling the flight agent about how she is a privileged or a valued customer and how dare the flight agent did not give her or find a better seat for her. So this went on for a while, and the agent, that is the flight agent, was not able to give her a better seat. After some time, the author was right there, and the author had an eye contact with the flight agent, and it was understood that, it is all about the communication approach. So now it was time for the author to have a conversation with the flight agent for a better seat. The author approached the flight agent and he used all the polite words and polite gestures to ask her if he could get a better seat. Is there a way out, or is there a possibility that the flight agent could arrange a better seat for him? And the flight agent smiled and said, "Sir, it's all about the approach." Now, do you understand the difference of communication, and do you understand the power of communication, the power of being polite and kind to people? I think this is one of the best examples that the author has shared about his own journey. And it is such an inspiring example. People often miscommunicate by saying polite and positive attitude or putting it together. That is, they feel positive attitude and politeness means smiling all the time or have a smile on your face all the time. But that's not true. It's not about smiling all the time or being polite. It's all about being kind, showing empathy, and it's all about assertiveness. So include these things in your communication. Now let's head on to secrets of communication. The first secret of communication is play your A game or be on your A game. Being or playing your A game makes a huge difference in the approach and your overall communication. Like I mentioned earlier, positive attitude changes the conversation from a failure to a success. A game means planning your conversation beforehand. Yes, there are times wherein you would require to be spontaneous or you would require to be on your toes and deliver the answer or communicate, but most of the times all your communication happens with proper planning. So always be and play your A game with proper planning and proper research before you get into your communication. Now, what is spontaneous conversation? Can we relate this to point number one, that is play your A game? Yes, you can relate it, because if you have a positive mindset, if you have that mindset of going it and doing it or giving it your best, then being spontaneous or whether you be in a spontaneous situation, it is definitely going to help you. And it's all in your head before you actually start it verbally. So it's all in your head and your mind. Secret number two is not beginning with the end in mind. Most of the times we are in our own world wherein think everything positive about each and every situation. But at times you need to know what would be the end of the situation that you are heading towards. So not beginning with the end in your mind is the biggest failure that you could have in your communication. Always think about the worst that can happen in your communication and be prepared for the worst situation. Be it a solution, be it talking to anyone, or maybe avoiding the situation itself. Secret number three, elegant body language. Now, what is an elegant body language? Your body language is equal to your non-verbal communication. Earlier, I mentioned about you can never say that you are not communicating. So it is said that you cannot not communicate. That means, let's say, if I have a response from one of my friend and I do not respond to her or him on a message, that is also a part of communication. The message, in fact, that I'm sending to my friend is that either I'm not interested to talking to her or him, or second, that I'm too busy to reply, or third, I do not prioritize to respond to the person. So this is also a part of communication. So be it that you're quiet, be it that you're not speaking anything, your non-verbal communication speaks a lot. Hence, secret number 3 that we have is body language. Elegant body language. You should practice your body language by looking in front of the mirror, by observing people using TED Talks, by checking yourself or checking your progress from day 1 to day 10 or from day 1 to day 40. Elegance also includes your facial expressions and the smile that you have while communicating to the other person. Secret number 4 is appropriate vocabulary. Yes. Have you been in a situation wherein you might have heard someone talking or using inappropriate vocabulary and you might have giggled or laughed, or you might have thought, what kind of communication is this? Have you been in a situation like this? So author says using or having appropriate vocabulary is one of the best part to develop your communication. So you should learn from basics to advanced level of vocabulary and get your words correct at the right place at the right time. And when you generally do not use the appropriate vocabulary, or if you might have been in a situation wherein you have heard someone else doing the wrong thing, it just sticks in your mind for the longest time and you cannot get rid of the inappropriate vocabulary that you might have heard. And this is how it impacts your communication to your audience and to the other member. So always remember that you should use appropriate vocabulary at the right time and right place. Connected to vocabulary, I would like you all to check our Instagram page and go and watch our reels related to vocabulary learning. Last and the final secret of communication, that is, be adaptive. Before you communicate or while you communicate, try to figure out whether the person is a listener or the person is a talker. This way, you will be able to understand the person in a better perception. Once you get to know whether the person is a talker or a listener, then you adapt your communication accordingly. Here, I want to add one anecdote or one short example from the book that the author has mentioned about being adaptive. So let me read it for you. One of my clients is extremely abrupt with others around her. She gets annoyed when people are not on her time schedule. She especially gets upset when her team does not jump into action when she needs something done. One of her peers on the management team is very similar to her and she gets extremely frustrated by him. She cannot believe how her peer speaks to his team. It is very interesting to watch because she has no idea that she is doing the same thing to her team. She has been told that she is too abrupt but insists that other people are incompetent. She really has no self-awareness. The sad part is that others do not like to work with her, and for her, yet she does not see that it is not open to hearing the feedback. By this anecdote, what I came to know is you should always be positive towards listening any kind of feedback given to you. Be it your senior, be it your junior, be it your students, or be it your colleagues. You should always be positive about listening to the feedback and then working on the feedback. This way, you're showing that you're very adaptive and you're ready for change. So these were the 5 secrets of communication. Let's do a quick revision. The first one is plan or play your A game. Second one is begin with the end in mind. Third one is elegant body language. Fourth one is appropriate vocabulary. And the fifth one is be adaptive. Before I end today's video, I would like to share one of the quotes that I came across recently on Instagram. What is necessary to change is to change the awareness of himself. This quote is by Abraham Maslow. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you soon in another video.